What brings you out here tonight?
Well, first of all, Cast LA, I did some stuff with them last year, and I do stuff with the Polaris Group, which is all about ending human trafficking. Any organization that's all about that, that is what I'm all about. And it's really, really amazing to me some of the lack of awareness that goes on, especially in America, about what's going on. I mean, a lot of people think this is happening, like in Europe or Africa or in Mexico, but it's happening right here in Los Angeles, right here in the United States. And we have to let people know. And what better way to do this than to come out, and especially guys to come out and show their support for the end of this, because it's one of those things where you hear a lot of women, speaking on it, and they've been victims. Usually victims, women and children have been the biggest victims. But it's time that men stand up and say, hey, we need to put a stop to this.
Speaking of that, how important do you think it is for men to become involved with these type of issues or to be outspoken with these type of issues?
Well, I mean, it's majorly, it's totally important because, for one, men are the biggest perpetrators. And the thing is, when you look at this kind of stuff, when you look at human trafficking, it kind of goes hand in hand with prostitution and all kinds of other, exploitation. And when you're saying, you have to understand, when you're talking about prostitution and you have Johns and, underage kids or women, a lot of times the John gets off with just a slap on the wrist, and they take the minor to jail, which is so unreal when you think about in America. And if you understand what this is, it's kind of like they call a person a child prostitute, but there's no such thing. You have to have consent, and you to be a prostitute. There's no way, because you're under the age, you can't give consent. So there's got to be a lot of alerts that go on that need to be highlighted. I mean, when you're talking about the Super Bowl being one of the biggest, weekends of prostitution in America, I mean, men, we got to stand up. We can't just look the other way, because it's actually it's a total, it's a little devastation happening right underneath your nose. And this is my job. I always felt it was my job that if you don't speak on these things, you're almost giving consent to them. And my thing is to always stand up, and as a real man speaks up for the weak. They speak up for people who can't speak for themselves, and that's the essence of being a strong man or woman. Hi, I'm Terry Crews, and you are watching Entertainment Scoop.